Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Low Budget Livestream. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds. And you guys that have done this before know the routine. The inmates run the asylum. You can ask me anything within reason, of course. And we can talk about whatever you want. Daniel, how's it going? See Bill's in the house. If you're in the house, uh, let me know you in the chat that you're here. And if there's anything you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. You guys know how this goes. Some channel updates first. I'm still working on a possible Patreon. Um, so if you guys have suggestions for the Patreon, let me know for tiers. One thing I will not be doing is hiding reviews behind a paywall because I don't like the idea of that. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, and if I haven't, well, I meant to. I'm not going to say, well, you can see it early. If it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on YouTube. Um, some things I'm working on for it. I'm working on at least 2 new segments. They're not going to be maybe but once or twice a month segments, if probably just once, pending on how much time I have. And I'll reveal more about them later, probably over Twitter or over one of these live streams. I've been working on these concepts for a little while, and they should be kind of fun. Um, and I'll, like I said, I'll have more details on that stuff later, and you guys will be able to participate a little bit over Patreon. Again, I don't know when or even if this Patreon's going to start. Um, I, I never liked the idea of making people pay for anything. I think, it's YouTube. It should be YouTube. I want people to be able to contribute if they want to. And if you don't contribute and still want to participate with my page and do these chats and all that stuff, I'm happy with that too. This is not my business. This is never going to be my full-time job. I would never trust YouTube. Hopefully they keep the live stream up after I said that. And after the thumbnail I used. But I don't trust YouTube enough to for them to be a job. But if anyone wants to help out the channel, and that would help pay for travel expenses for movies I got to drive to, or games for Gino's Bad at Games and things like that. I'm coming up with a few different tiers that people will be able to choose some of that stuff and choose some stuff for these new segments. And the new one of the segments is one I've wanted to do for a long time, and I know I don't do a lot of like top tens or anything on this channel because I think a lot of those are a dime a dozen. Mine isn't a top 10 per se, but it is it's a 10 something. And it's not like in a particular order. It's just there's going to be 10 things I have to come up with for something, which is going to be for one of those new segments. And you guys will probably be able to help me in picking what this top 10 thing is. So, what the subject is. So it's one, again, I've been working on like opens and stuff. And if I sound like I'm out of it, like if I'm tired, like I'm tired, just because I am. The last couple of weeks have been just draining, and today all I did was work on stuff for the channel when I wasn't working. And sometimes when I was at work, I was on my downtime, I was doing stuff for the channel, working on new opens and some graphics and just all sorts of stuff like that, especially for these new segments I'm working on. But more of that stuff about Patreon will probably come later, hopefully within the next month or so. I just need to figure out what I want the tiers to be. I don't want there to be too many, and I don't want them to be really expensive. I mean, maybe I'll do a really expensive one and see if someone would pay it. No, I'm kidding. See what they'll make me do. But no, that more on that'll be coming later. Sometime tonight, after this live stream is processed, I will probably be starting my new Gino's Bad at Games. I've got about 6 videos done for it. So I'll be probably premiering that tonight. If I don't do that tonight, I'll be doing it tomorrow in the morning. I want to be able to do all those. My problem with doing Gino's Bad at Games is there's been a few times where I couldn't get back to the game for a while, so you'd have to wait for an episode. So I got to the point where I wanted to get a bunch of the game done, if not all of the game done, and then release it. I'm about halfway through the game I'm playing, and I've got 6 episodes, which means I got 6 or 7 episodes left. I don't know how many chapters are in the game, but I don't want to release them without like a day in between them, like any empty days. I want to do them straight. So, but I may start tonight because the videos are only about a half hour, which doesn't take very long to edit or anything. So I'll probably go ahead and start that tonight. I'm having some fun with this one. It's a pretty simplistic game, but they're games it's a series of games that I always have a little fun with. We're going to go through the chat again. If you're here in the chat, let me know you're here. If you have anything you want to talk about, definitely put it in. Those of you that have done these chats know how this works. But yeah, I'll talk about just about anything. There's some things I don't want to talk about. There's some things I've addressed that I won't talk about. But we're just here to have a good time here on the Low Budget live stream. Dana's in the house. Let's see. Bill says, fun fact, Andrew Lloyd Webber wanted to call Cats Furries the musical, but everyone else in the world said no. I think everyone's saying no to that Cats movie. Oh, and by the way, Desiree, who is usually here for these live streams, she had to work tonight. Boo, work, boo. If you work with Desiree at her job, boo, you made her work and she's missing my stream and I'm not happy about it. But she sends hugs to everybody. And she said sorry she couldn't be here. But yeah, the Cats, that Cats movie, man. I don't even know what to think of that. When I first saw the trailer, look, I've never seen the play. I know what I know it's about people acting like cats. That's all I know. I've never seen the play. I don't have any connection to it. But after seeing that trailer, I'm like, I don't know. It felt like Rent with cats. That's what I got out of it. But what I really saw when I saw the first cat, especially James Corden's cat, it looked like the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. That's all I could think of. And I really hope that it's one of those movies that transcends what you're seeing in the trailer. Maybe it will. I don't know. It's hard to judge a movie by one trailer. Maybe the effects will get better. I had heard they were wearing costumes, though, and this is the way it was supposed to be. They were wearing costumes, and then they were just supposed to get animated tails and ears and some other things like, whiskers or whatever. But it looks like the whole suit except their face is CG, which was a little weird to me. Pimp Cat Idris Elba was, it's kind of funny. Again, I really hope that movie does transcend that first trailer. But who knows? I mean, maybe it's just a Hollywood misstep. I mean, those things happen. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to think. I may be having chat problems again. If somebody's there, and can you put some more in chat here if you get a chance? This thing was having issues earlier. They've got a new setup here for this way I do these live streams. So if you get a chance, please put something else in chat. That way I can know it's working. It says I got people here. So there we go. Okay, there it's moving. Yeah, this thing is this one of the many problems I have with YouTube right now is this this setup they have that I'm doing these live streams for. It always seems to have little bitty bugs and things like that, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of bugs me. And this is one of the minor problems I have, but I've had a few issues with this setup where it's kind of like their own encoder. and we used to have way more problems. Thankfully, the almighty YouTube has gotten a little better with it. But anyway, let's see. Let's see, where was I in the chat here? Bill says Cats was filmed after one producer bet another he couldn't get Wood Rocket to make a parody of his next movie. Yeah, again, I hope I'm wrong about that movie. I really do, but it just looks like a huge misstep. And yeah, I could see it being the parody. I mean, it looks like kind of like a parody as of right now. Zepstern's in the house. What you doing, or how you doing, bud? Says we ain't run shit. Let's see. Bill says I have no cash to spare. Pum. Hey, again, if you're referring to the Patreon, it's one of those things. There's a lot of Patreons out there that bug me because, and I get why Patreon is popular. I especially since YouTube's algorithms are always messed up, and those that do make a career out of this need some guaranteed money if they're going to do this for a career. I get it. I really do. But there's just some things on Patreon that bother me where it's, you have to pay. Like if you're releasing something early, that's fine. But it's like the Patreon exclusive stuff. I get it, but I don't like it. I understand it, but I don't like it. I would think if you want someone to follow you, they should just be able to follow you on YouTube. But I understand it. It doesn't, anger me or anything. But it's just when I see myself doing a Patreon, it's like it's if you want to help, if you want to and can. I'm giving an opportunity to help. But again, if you just want to come and hang out in the live streams and things like that, I'm cool with that too. So it's cool. If you can't help, you can't help, and that's okay. Trust me. Why do you think I call this the low budget live stream? Let's see. Where was I? Daniel says I'm seeing The Farewell tomorrow and Saturday. I'll be having a double feature of the Angry Birds movie 2 and the release of it with an 8-minute sneak peek of the sequel. Yeah, I had an opportunity to go see Angry Birds, but I just couldn't make it. Or it's coming up. I don't remember. I get so many screening invites now that I can't make it to because they're all in St. Louis. But definitely have a good time with that. My son asked me about Angry Birds, so I'm sure I'll have to take him to see that. But I'll just wait for that. I didn't really feel like traveling for it anyway. I got an invite to Dora the other day. I'm not sure really what I think about that. I finally saw the second trailer, and it's like, oh, they're the very first. They show her as a kid, and they show her talking to the screen. They're like, oh, we're sure it's going to be a phase. Yeah, I'm not sure what I think of that movie either. Let's see. Bob says, did I see the Boys series? I have not been able to see it yet. It's on the list. I've made my thumbnail for it. It's next. I'm catching up again on Young Justice. I'm finally putting my DC Universe subscription to use. I paid for it for a year. I got like a really good deal that I couldn't pass up. And I'm almost done with season 2, which I've seen season 1 and season 2 of Young Justice, but I couldn't remember everything that happened. So I just started watching it again. I'm not going to review those. I'm going to review season 3 when I get to it. So after I do season 3, I'm going to be handling the Boys. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I was a big fan of the Garth Ennis Punisher Max series, so I never got to read The Boys, so I'm looking forward to seeing the show. But yes, it will be hopefully within the next couple weeks. I'll be able to sit down and watch it, and if I get a chance, I'm going to try to watch it this weekend because I should be catching up with Young Justice here pretty soon, and with there only being one real big movie coming out this weekend, Hobbs and Shaw, I should have extra time to do some stuff. Let's see. Bryson says, how you doing, Bryce? I'm glad you could join us. Prediction, Rebel Wilson will be the worst part of Cats, even worse than the CGI. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, this is I I don't know if she'll stand out. She could. I mean, and I've talked about Rebel Wilson before. I really want to see her do something different. And maybe this will be different enough for her. Granted, they still made her want her to be the female Kevin James, like she is in like every movie she's in. I feel bad for her because she keeps getting stuck in these roles, and maybe she has more talent than that. We've talked about this. Look at Melissa McCarthy, for example. They were trying to make her the female Kevin James there for a while. I'm surprised she wasn't Paula Blart. But she got to finally do different stuff, and she's really good at it. And now she's starting, she was in Can You Ever Forgive Me, which is the best acting she's ever done. She's in The Kitchen, which I cannot wait to see. I'd like to see Rebel Wilson try something different. But yeah, will she stand out? I'm not sure. Seeing that Rob joins us, Smirking Gun. How you doing, Rob? He says you're having issues now too. Is anyone else having issues with the stream? Is it jumping, or is it not showing up, or anything like that? Let me know, because I know my buddy Rob has been having issues, especially with this YouTube setup. If I'm having issues, let me know. I want to make sure everything's working right. He's been telling me he's having so many nightmares with this setup that he's done a couple live streams and it's just not worked. And if I'm having issues, definitely put it in the chat because I want to know. Let's see, because if that's the case, eventually I'm going to move my setup to OBS, which I did a live stream for a game the other day with it, and it seemed to work good. And my signal strength and everything's strong, so hopefully it's going good. So yeah, definitely let me know if everything's not going good. Let's see. Paul says, can't wait for your reviews of Good Boys and Ready or Not. I can't wait for those either. I'm looking forward to those movies. Do you think they do a reshoot of Cats Like Sonic? Oh, I don't know about reshoot. They may try to cover it up. If they may try to change the animation of the cats. I don't know. Or maybe they'll stick to their guns. We'll see. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I mean, that one comes out, Christmas? So it's going to be interesting. But I don't know how many reshoots they're going to do. I mean, that looked like a pretty expensive, expensive filming anyway, with all the sets and everything they had to build. Daniel says Hobbs and Shaw got a 69 on Rotten Tomatoes. Angry Birds 2 got a 78. Oh boy, Angry Birds. I thought the first one was okay. I watched it with my kids not too long ago, and it was okay. It's different when I'm watching something to review and when I'm just watching something. I think I get more enjoyment after I've gotten my issues out of the way out in public. I'm not really looking forward to the second one, as it looks like it just goes into the whole oh well, we gotta team up the good guys and bad guys for a new enemy. I mean, it's pretty just typical stuff. Hopefully it's good. And I'm hoping Hobbs and Shaw, that last trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, I'm just like, the one thing I'm tired of in the Fast and Furious franchise is the whole family. We're about family. It's family. And then now this Hobbs and Shaw trailer is about family. So I'm hoping that's not as annoying as it got in Fast and the Furious. And speaking of Fast and Furious, apparently they're bringing back what's her name? That's the wife of Paul Walker's character. Yeah. How are you going to explain Paul Walker not being there this time? Is he just babysitting? Part of me just feels like if they're going to do that, they should just get one of his brothers to take his place. But I don't think they know what they really are going to do. Thankfully, there's only a couple of those movies left. Let's see. Bob says Doom 1, 2, 3 were realized for Switch. Another system, it's not on yet. I'm not sure what you mean there, Bob. Sorry. Were realized for Switch and other systems, not on yet. If you explain, sorry, if you explain what I'm a little slow today. Bryson says Gears of War movie with Terry Crews and Dave Bautista. I could be on board as long as they know how stupid it will be. The games are never my cup of tea. You know, look, I like that idea. I really do. But if they don't get old Terry Tate himself to play Coltrane, that's almost a crime. Look, I love Terry Crews. I really do. And I bet they would pick someone like him because he has a name. You know, he has more of a like name recognition. And I love the idea of the lead being Dave Bautista. I mean, come on. Who else? I like the games a lot. I haven't played 4, and I'd never played the prequel one. I played 1, 2, and 3, and I really liked them. So I would be on board with that. The only problem with adapting something like that is they're pretty much a movie anyway in game form. So, you know, I'd want to see it, but especially if Dave Bautista were the lead, I would be cool with that. And again, I'd be cool with Terry Crews being Coltrane, but if Lester Spate wasn't Coltrane, that would almost be sad, but you know, whatever. I have a feeling it'll happen eventually, especially if Dave Bautista wants it that bad, and he'll get it eventually. It may not be next year, but in the next few years, maybe. Hopefully before he gets too old. Let's see. Bill says, literally, that's all Cast the Play is. There's no subtext. There's no deeper meaning. It's just a send up to cats. Yeah, see, I don't know much about it, and I know everyone raves about that being like one of the big Broadway shows, and I don't know. I'm curious. It does curious. Sorry, no pun intended. But yeah, it does pique my curiosity. Let's see. Bryce says, Gino, have you seen the trailer for Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse? It is currently my most anticipated upcoming film. I have not seen it yet. My trailer watching day was going to be tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll see it tomorrow. I'm hearing the trailer's good. I'm hearing the trailer for that De Niro film is good too. I'm looking forward to seeing those. I'll have to check those out. I didn't have time to check out. I was going to check out some trailers before I came on tonight, but ran into a few different things and wasn't able to. But yeah, I'm hearing that trailer is pretty awesome. Maybe we can talk about that next time. Sorry I didn't get to watch any trailers. Let's see. Where was I? Daniel says, what would you rank the Lion King remake with Aladdin remake and Dumbo remake? If I had to rank, I would go Dumbo's the bottom. Again, I give Dumbo a lot of credit for trying to continue the story, but when it became a PSA for animal treatment, and it was just too in your face obvious. I think I would probably put Aladdin next because I would put Lion King on top, but I still have my issues with the Lion King because the cartoon is my favorite Disney animated movie. But I think just my connection to the Lion King and the story puts it on top, but it's very close with it in Aladdin because both of them are just fairly carbon copies of the cartoon. Aladdin did try to force the whole Maker Sultan thing, and they had that song that was a little forced. The whatever it was, voiceless or something like that, speechless, whatever the song was called. It felt a little forced. I'm fine with the message, but it was just they crammed it in a little too hard. Lion King just made subtle changes, and my biggest problem with the Lion King remake is a lot of the emotion is gone because you don't have the emotion in the characters' faces in animated form. It's just photorealistic lions trying to talk. So, but I still enjoyed the movie for what it was. So yeah, it'd probably be Lion King, Aladdin, Dumbo. Bill says both Aladdin and Lion King have made $1 billion. It's scary how much money Disney is making. No one else is close. Yeah, they're like, we had a story on the news the other day for the show that I work, and they said they're so far ahead. I can't remember what the number was, but they're so far ahead of everybody money wise. Yeah, the number 2 isn't even near them. Let's see. Bob says, nice. It was great. I'll probably talk about the boys. Nice. It was a great comic. Is good too, but edgy. But not in a late Frank Miller way. Yeah, it again. I like Garth Ennis's work, so I've got a lot of hopes for that. And Carl Urban being in it, I love that. So I'm really looking forward to the boys. I planned on watching it the day it came out, but it just didn't happen. A lot of stuff has come up lately. Bill says Toy Story 4, Captain Marvel, Endgame, Spider-Man. Though Sony gets they get some of the money for that one. I think there's a split there. I'm sure it's probably like 60-40, but but they get to use Spider-Man in the MCU kind of thing. I'm sure there's all sorts of dealage there, but yeah, they've got tons of stuff that's just making them bank, and then you throw in the remakes and stuff like that. And what does that new Maleficent come out this year too? I can't remember if it's early next year or late this year, which I'm not really looking forward to that one. But yeah, I'm they're definitely making the bank. Excuse me. Paul says, hope you do more classic interviews or classic Gino interviews. Man, I miss doing interviews. And we've talked about this before, where I was a year ago or so, I set something up with Doug Jones again to do a really special project. And then he just had to go win an Oscar for the being involved in The Shape of Water. And then he just had to get successful doing the new Star Trek show. No, I'm kidding, because I'm happy he's finally getting the credit he deserves. But I talked with his rep. Excuse me. I talked with his rep not too long ago, and they're like, yeah, he can't do any interviews at cons anymore because the CBS wants him to keep secrets for the Star Trek show. And I even said, look, we won't even talk about Star Trek, and because I haven't watched it. I mean, I'm happy for him that it's successful, but I don't get to watch a lot of TV, period. But I'm like, sorry, no, can't do it. It's like, man. And even Doug himself said, we can do this. Well, let's set something up. And so I was a little disappointed. But yeah, man, I miss doing interviews. I haven't done a good interview in a long time. I'm going to try to find an avenue again, because it was hard going to conventions and stuff, because they would have to wait for the lines to die down, and then you could do it. But some of them even threaten to say, well, if the line picks back up, you have to stop your interview. And it's like, of course, if you stop an interview in the middle of it, you're going to lose the feel of it. It would suck to have to stop. Then, oh, where were we? Here's this question. It would feel robotic. And some of my best interviews were very organic. And if you haven't checked out the interviews on my channel, I've done some fun ones. Jake the Snake Roberts fun. The late Roddy Piper was great. Heather Langenkamp was awesome. As many strings as she pulled to make that interview happen, I have nothing but respect for her. And it was so great that, she got me in the con early, and she got up early, and just all sorts of stuff just to make this interview happen, because I was only going to be there for one day. And I've had a lot of fun interviews. Doug Jones was a lot of fun. I have some good interviews on there, and I have a lot of fun with that. And I miss doing it. There's a few that I'd still like to do, but again, it's hard to set that stuff up now. I'm really hoping to try to set something up to where, maybe if I don't do it at a con, maybe I could do a webcam Skype call with celebrities or something like that. I'm still trying to figure all that out. So I would like to do more of those again. It's just been a long time, and I miss it. I've had a lot of fun ones, and I have a playlist on the channel where I have all my interviews. So definitely check those out. Bryson says, I was freezing earlier, but seems to be good for me now. Again, if you guys are having issues with the stream, definitely let me know. I'm hoping to move to OBS next time or the time after that. It seemed to work pretty good. And I just don't trust this YouTube setup ever. Bob says, new good trailers, Little Monsters and The Hunt. Haven't seen either of those trailers. I'm so far behind on trailers. Again, I planned on watching them before the stream today, like I did last time. Just didn't get to it. And Bob said released. I'm guessing you're talking about the trailers, or if you're talking about the Doom thing. Sorry, again, I'm a little out of it. Daniel says, thoughts about Avengers Endgame beating Avatar for the highest grossing film of all time. I don't know if I'll be able to release it finally, but I got to finish it. But I'm working on some art for that. I'll just say that I've had this art in my head the entire time, and I want to release it. And I may work on it tonight or tomorrow. But I'm happy. I've been wanting to see something beat Avatar for a long time. And I do like that James Cameron has been funny about it. I mean, if anything, he's got a good sense of humor about it. And I'm just happy that... Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Disney would have had that record... and I mean, this cliche, they would have had it in a snap. If they would have released a director's cut, instead of that pitiful, oh, here's the unfinished scene of the Hulk and the Stan Lee tribute, even though the Stan Lee tribute was good. But if they would have released a real director's cut, even if they would have just added like 20 minutes to the movie. Granted, I've seen some of the deleted scenes now, and some of them weren't great. So maybe there wasn't anything good that they could add. But they would have had it instantly because everyone would have went to see it. Especially if they said, look, we're not releasing this version on DVD. You know, we're not releasing it on Blu-ray. We're just doing this in the theater, just as the, 3000 tour, Love You 3000 tour, or whatever. So I think they would have had it a lot quicker. I mean, they almost barely didn't get it. I went to go see it again because I really wanted to see it, but I just wanted to see it again. But I was seeing Spider-Man the next day, and the scene they showed from Spider-Man was the very first of the movie, and it's like, I'm seeing this tomorrow. So they should have had it a lot faster. They should have been smarter on that whole re-release thing. I'm glad they got it, though. Bill says Little Monsters looks great. Lupita Nyong'o has to protect a class of children from zombies. I'm sold. Let's see. Daniel says, have I seen the trailer for Onward and the new trailer for Frozen 2? I have not. I saw Onward, I think, but it's been a while. I don't remember it really sticking out to me. Paul says, what about Beauty and the Beast? Oh, are you talking about ranking it in there? I mean, I enjoyed the Beauty and the Beast remake. It's one of those I didn't think it was that necessary, but I liked what they did. I don't know. It would probably be, it would be over Dumbo. And I like the cartoon of Aladdin way more than I like Beauty and the Beast, so I'd put Aladdin over it still. But I still enjoyed it for what it was. I like the character of LeFou in that. I thought Josh Gad was like very like the right amount of cartoon in that movie. Bryson says, not only have De Niro and Scorsese worked together on The Irishman, but they have another project, Killers of the Flower Moon with DiCaprio. It should be interesting. It's about the murders on the Cherokee. Anything that Scorsese wants to do, I am down for. Anything that Scorsese wants to do with DiCaprio, I am down for. That should be great. Sorry, your message continues. Reservation in Oklahoma in the 1920s. Scorsese and De Niro working on a period piece should be a formula for success. Yeah, it should, definitely. And I don't know much about it, but I'm down for it. Bryson says, speaking of Maleficent sequel, I don't get why Disney wants to do a Cruella origin story other than a cash grab. Can Emma Stone make a puppy murder sympathetic? Yeah, I mean, that's something because, yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. It's like, oh, she has a reason, and it's okay that she murders spotted puppies. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I mean, do I think Emma Stone can play the part? Yes, I do. But should that movie be made? I don't know. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to give me a good reason why it's okay that it's going to be like, oh, but she was hurt. She was hurt by someone hurt her or something like that. No, it doesn't give her a reason to murder puppies. Bob says Doom was released on things that have not been released. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. Let's see. Paul says, are you going to see Blinded by the Light when it comes out? Is that... Hold on. Blinded by the Light. I think I know what that is. Blinded by the Light. If it comes around me, yes, I want to see that. I do want to see that movie a lot. But will it come near me? I don't know. If it does, I want to see it. I really do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, but I don't know if it's going to be around here. If it is, I'm definitely going to go see it though. Bill says, Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit looks interesting. A young German boy's imaginary friend Adolf Hitler, played by Taika Waititi. Yeah, I've known about this one for a long time. While his mother is hiding a Jewish girl in the attic. Yeah, I've been the first trailer for that. I'm like, I wasn't sure what to think. I know it's going to be satire, and I trust Taika Waititi to give me something interesting. I liked when he released an image. I think it was on Instagram or Twitter where he's basically flipping the bird and he goes, your ultimate white supremacist is being played by whatever origin, wherever he's from. He's like, suck on that, And I thought that was funny that he's playing that part. I'm curious about the movie. I really want to see the movie. The first trailer, I wasn't sure what to think of it, but I've liked a lot of his movies, especially like Hunt for the Wilder People, and What We Do in the Shadows. I like those movies a lot, so I want to see him do odd stuff like that. I'd rather, not saying I don't want to see him do another Thor movie, but I'd rather see him do weirder stuff than like bigger budget Hollywood stuff. Let's see. Daniel says, unpopular opinion, Frozen 2 will make more than Rise of Skywalker at the box office. It might. It really might. Be with the backlash that The Last Jedi got. There's a lot of people not real excited for this final Star Wars movie. I'm excited to see it. I want to see where it goes. But yeah, will Frozen 2 do better? It might. That's actually a real possibility because of the satisfaction that people got from Frozen. I mean, granted, people had a little sour taste in their mouth about that short that they did. What was it, like 20 minutes long or something? I liked it. And that was in front of, I can't remember which Pixar movie it was, that they showed like the Olaf short, and a lot of people didn't like it. I liked it, but I just like Olaf. But it could do really well. Granted, it could be a bad sequel too. You never know. But we'll find out. Paul says you keep freezing up. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not. My connection's good, and I've heard again there's been troubles with this setup. So just keep letting me know if it keeps doing it. Daniel says, I agree with you about Endgame should re-release Director's Cut. They should call it Avengers Endgame. Yeah, okay. They should. That's America's Ascot. Yeah, that. Because it is, Bryson says Mahershala Ali as Blade. I think could really work, but I'm afraid Marvel really sanitizing it. Yeah, it's going to be PG-13. He's going to be in the MCU. But I do love the idea of Mahershala Ali being Blade. And I love that he approached them and said, I want to talk to you. I want to be Blade. And they said yes. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be the... It's definitely not going to be the Snipes versions. Let's see. Where was I? Bill says, I'd like to see them bring in other Marvel monsters and hunters for the Blade films. Elsa Bloodstone, Werewolf by Night, Ghost Rider. That would be cool. Like a heaven forbid, like I say, a dark universe. I don't think Universal will like that too much. Yeah, I would like to see them do more characters like that together. That would be great. That's kind of what I want to see too. Daniel says Michael Bay directing a live action remake of Home on the Range starring Melissa McCarthy, and M. Night directing a live action remake of Chicken Little starring Logan Paul could be Disney low point. Oh boy. Yeah, no. Never know. They might run out of ideas they've already had and have to actually come up with more ideas they haven't had yet. They have to go to their lower tier movies. Paul says the Zombieland 2 trailer looks good. Yeah, I liked what I saw there. The one thing I really want from Zombieland 2, though, I want zombie Bill Murray. I want to see zombie Bill Murray. That's really what I want. I want to see how they fit that in there because he has to show up, right? But yeah, I liked the trailer. I was surprised how much I enjoyed that trailer. Bryson says, I hope Zombieland Double Tap is more than just Stone, Eisenberg, and Harrison chasing Breslin because they don't like her new boyfriend. The trailer is fun, but the plot seems thin. Yeah, hopefully there's more something there, but we'll find out. It's got me curious. It's got me excited to see it. I need to go back and watch the first one again. It's been a while. Let's see. Daniel says, Bryson, that's long away comedy sequels for you. Yeah, that's kind of how they go sometimes. It's like, well, we want a sequel, but we don't have a story for it. Bryce says, the Olaf short, as I recall, was in front of Coco, which is a far superior movie to Frozen. That's right. I think it was Coco. I think we've talked about that before here too, because I can never remember what's in front of anything anymore. Yeah, I definitely like Coco better than Frozen, and I enjoyed Frozen. I liked the fact that Frozen made fun of the princess stereotype multiple times, like the love at first sight stuff and all that. But I did enjoy Frozen. But yeah, Coco was way better movie. Daniel says Olaf Shore is in front of Life of the Party. Actually, oh, I would have remembered that. Dale says, I know Bryson, but I just wanted to fool Gino and make him laugh. Yeah, it's, we're having a good time here. See, Chris Beyond joins us. There's a whole Marvel monster universe I'd love to see adapted into films. Yeah, of course. That'd be fantastic to see all that stuff. Good luck doing that, though, with Universal wanting to do their universe. And it kind of, even though I enjoyed The Mummy, everyone didn't like The Mummy. I kind of liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. I liked the idea, and they're probably not going to be doing much about their little dark universe thing. But yeah, good luck getting past Universal on that one, unfortunately. Paul says, any word they're going to be a Deadpool 3, or do you think it's going to get an R rating? See, here's the problem with Deadpool. We've gotten the R-rated Deadpool. We've gotten a great R-rated Deadpool. And Disney would want to bring him in the MCU, but do we really want to see Deadpool in the MCU? It would be fun to see him do a team up with maybe a character. Everyone, of course, wants it to be Spider-Man, which that is a perfect pick, but then you have to deal with Sony and all that stuff. At least you don't have to deal with Fox and Sony anymore because, Disney buys everything. But the problem with bringing in Deadpool to the MCU, especially if you're doing like another Avengers movie, Deadpool's distracting. I mean, just look at what little bit Wade Wilson was in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yeah, he was great in that part, but he was kind of distracting to the whole scene. You wanted more of him, right? You don't want to take away from your other characters in an Avengers movie, having Deadpool run the whole thing. It works in the comics. It works in the cartoons. The movies are a little different. I don't know if it really works. I would like to see them keep doing R-rated Deadpool movies, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I have a feeling they're going to make him PG-13. It's still going to be Ryan Reynolds. He's going to try to be as edgy as possible. I mean, I know Disney said, well, we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it R-rated. I'm curious if they will. I don't know, though. I just don't know what their plans are with him. Because think about it. If he starts to cuss in the MCU and they bleep it out, I mean, they don't have... Him breaking the fourth wall in the MCU doesn't make as much sense as it does in a cartoon, or as much sense as it does in a comic. It takes you out of that universe. So I do have a feeling, though. I've got this feeling, and I'm going to throw this out there now, and it's not going to be a thing yet. He's not going to be a full-fledged character yet. But I have a feeling, and I have a hunch that in the new Doctor Strange movie, we're going to see Deadpool, and we're going to see some other things that they haven't been able to show yet. I think that Doctor Strange is going to be a way that they debut some characters. I really do. I have a feeling that Doctor Strange is where we're going to see our first glimpses of Blade and the Fantastic Four and the other Fox stuff. I really do. I even think they might introduce some of the Spider-Man multiverse stuff there too, because though I know Sony is probably going to do another Spider-Verse movie, because I mean, come on, it won all the awards and it's amazing. No pun intended. I have a feeling they're going to want Miles Morales in the live action movies eventually. Whether he's going to be a multiverse character, or they're going to connect him to Donald Glover's Prowler character from Homecoming, I don't know. But I really do. I really do think that Doctor Strange is going to be where we start to see some of these new characters. I mean, come on, it's the multiverse of madness. They've got endless possibilities right there. So I'm curious about it. And Chris mentions, Marvel's Dracula, Frankenstein, etc. Chris also says, was Deadpool ever in the Guardians in the comics? Seems like it could work on screen. That would probably be the best place to bring him in. I mean, he would fit in with those characters. I'm sure I know he's gone up against Thanos many a time, so I wouldn't doubt if he had interactions with the Guardians. I'm not positive, though. I didn't read a ton of Guardians comics, and I didn't collect a lot of Deadpool either whenever I was collecting years ago. But I know he's gone up against Thanos a lot because they both are in love with Lady Death. So, I mean, but yeah, especially with the humor itself, I could see a lot of the in jokes, him calling Star-Lord Han Solo and things like that. I'm sure there'd be probably an Indiana Jones joke in there somewhere too. But that would be a good place to bring him in. Let's see. Bryson says, do your kids like Invader Zim? No, they've never seen it. I've been a fan of, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yonan Vasquez fan, since my embarrassing Hot Topic days of Squee and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. The Netflix movie, I hope, is good. Yeah, I wasn't into that show. That was a little bit past me. I did go to a con one time, and the dude that does the voice for Zim was there, and he was doing the voice for everybody that come up to see him. It was pretty funny. He seemed like he was a real fun guy. Yeah, I know they picked up some cartoons and stuff on Netflix. I'm really curious what they're going to do with some of this stuff. But yeah, my kids, I bet my son Ryan would like that show. I've seen it a little bit, and it seems like my son Ryan's kind of show. Maybe I'll have to show that to him. He'd probably like it. Daniel says, after Avatar broke Titanic's record, we thought that Star Wars The Force Awakens would beat Avatar, but it beat Avatar, but it did domestically, but fails to beat it worldwide, mostly because of China. Yeah, I thought Avengers Age of Ultron was going to be the one that beats it, and then I saw it. Even though I liked that movie, okay. There was a few movies I thought Force Awakens was going to be it. And really, if The Last Jedi wasn't as divisive as it was, I really do think it, like, if it was like this, like the amazing film, uh, it might have beat it, but it was very divisive. Um, but I'm glad it was the Avengers, because they earned it. I mean, over 10 years of movies building up this story, and finally they do the big two-parter, and the way it ends, and just the characters that were developed over these 10 years finally getting all these payoffs, and Avengers Assemble, and all that stuff, all the moments that we got to witness during that final battle. And people complained there was too many moments, and they earned those moments over 10 years. So it's the kind of movie I wanted to see beat Avatar. I was happy it did. Daniel says, and everyone thought that the Emoji Movie will make less than Jim and the Holograms at the box office, but did better because no family competition around its release. What's funny about Jim and the Holograms? Did anyone ever hear the controversy behind that movie? I guess on whatever the Twitter or the website for the Jim and the Holograms movie, they wanted people to record video messages talking about what Jem meant to them. And people, of course, thought that meant the old cartoon, right? So you have all the fandom for Jem was coming out and recording these videos saying what Jem meant to them. And there was some really emotional stuff. And so what they do is they take those videos and put it in the Jem movie. Like these people are talking about this new Jem in this terrible movie that we just sat through, because it's right at the end. And boy, were a lot of people mad about that, especially those that were like, I wasn't talking about this garbage movie that you just showed me. I was talking about, the old cartoon. And yeah, I know they didn't make a lot of people movie. I remember I was so happy when that movie was over. I couldn't wait to leave. Paul says, would love to see a Ben 10 live action movie. I know my son would. I've watched that show a couple times with him. He likes the toys and all that stuff. I got him the video game and he watches the show. I know he'd love to see one. Let's see. Daniel says, Paul Green, no, I don't want Cartoon Network to follow Disney Channel footsteps after the success of the live action disaster of Kim Possible. I never watched the Kim Possible cartoon, and I saw a picture from their live action version of that, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to watch this. Eventually I might, but I don't have a connection to the cartoon. So, it's, I have no real rush to see the Kim Possible cartoon. After watching like Max Steel and stuff, I don't know if I want to see something like that, but I know my son would, so it'd give me a movie to take him to theaters to see. So I'll say, yeah, I'd like to see that. Excuse me. Let's see. Bill says, Thor Love and Thunder looks cool. Jamie Alexander, aka Lady Sif, publicly volunteered to be Valkyrie's new queen. I'd be cool with that. My problem with Love and Thunder is I didn't like Natalie Portman's character in the Thor movies. I didn't like the whole it's not magic, it's science thing. I found Jane Foster's character to be annoying. I have no issues with other than the character's name is Thor, but then she becomes Thor. The whole name thing I always just thought was weird. I thought they should have maybe come up with a new name for her. Hell, call her the Mighty Jane. I don't know, but just the name thing is confusing. But I just don't like Jane Foster in the movies. I like Jane Foster in the comics. So I'm fine with the change. Here's the thing though. I want Natalie Portman to prove me wrong. I'm fine when Natalie Portman proves me wrong. I want to like her and stuff. I'm just not a big fan of hers. And I understand why people are, and I've liked her and things. And when I do like her and stuff, I admit it. But I still think that The Professional is still her best movie. Again, I liked her in other things, but I'm just not a huge fan of hers, and I wasn't a huge fan of the Jane Foster character. So hopefully they do something different with her, other than turning her into Thor, of course. But hopefully they revamp the character a little bit and make her a little more likable. Because I never really, I bought the romance in the first Thor movie. I hated the romance in the second one. I enjoy Thor pining over her versus versus them being together. Let's see. Daniel says, I forgot to talk about my story about last night. Go ahead and throw it in there, bud, and we'll read it out. I know you, Daniel says he has a story about his Hobbs and Shaw screening, so he'll throw that in there, and I'll read it here in just a bit. Let's see. Chris says, isn't that more of an issue with the writing, though? And those first two Thor films were a bit rough. Yeah, the first one was fine. It felt more like a Thor movie than the second one did. The second one was just a mess. Even though there were things I liked, they took characters like Malekith and just flushed them down the toilet. And then you had the whole science magic thing, and that was just annoying. And that's just it. It could be the writing. And I hope it's just the writing, because even if I'm not a fan of an actor, I like it when an actor proves me wrong. I like it when an actor impresses me. Again, we'll use Melissa McCarthy as an example. I used to dread going to Melissa McCarthy movies, and I probably still would dread going to a straight Melissa McCarthy comedy. But if she's going to do drama, I look forward to it. I love it when an actress, I knew she had something in her, that she could be good at drama, and she is. So really, I hope that, even though I'm not the biggest fan, I hope that they do more with the Jane Foster character. I hope Natalie Portman shows me a good character. I just want good characters. I just want good movies. I don't, even if it's an actor I don't like, I still just want a good movie and a good character from them. I love being proved wrong. That's like the biggest misconception of people when they think about a critic is, if you like something or don't like something, critics don't want to be proven wrong. They just want their opinion to be right. First of all, it's an opinion. It's not right or wrong. Second, I love it when an actor shows me something new. I love it when a director shows me something new. When a movie shows me something new. It gives me a character I haven't seen before. It gives me a new spin on a character. I love being surprised. I love it when my first impressions, like say if I see a trailer or we've had past interactions with a character that I didn't like, but then later they do something different with them and I like them after that. I love that stuff. I love being wrong about my impressions of something. So I really do hope that the writing, especially with Taika Waititi, I want the movie to be just a little less funny than Ragnarok. I know everyone loves Ragnarok. I like it. I thought it was a little too silly at times. That was my big issue with it. Especially when, they crack a joke after like this, Asgard blows up and then they're cracking a joke. It just kind of, the balance wasn't there. They need a good balance. Excuse me. So I'm really hoping that they give me something new with this and they give us a good balance. I think Taika Waititi, with that character in the hands of Taika Waititi, I really have my hopes up. But I'm not letting him get too high. Bryce says, could Roland Emmerich's Midway be more disrespectful to my dead World War II veteran grandfather than base Pearl Harbor? The entire trailer is mainly Pearl Harbor and very little from the Battle of Midway. Lord help us if we get another Pearl Harbor. I don't know. I haven't seen that trailer, but it's going to be hard to be more disrespectful than Pearl Harbor. Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor is a joke. Of course the action looks good. Of course it's a Bay film. Of course he blows stuff up good, but yeah, let's insult our greatest generation. That's a good idea. Bill says, this is going to be Taika Waititi's Jane Foster. And again, I hope that's a good thing. Daniel says, when I was in line for Hobbs and Shaw, parents were letting their sons 8 to 9 years take their shirt off outside And when we got in the theater, let the kids to watch the movie shirtless. Lovely. I thought, what happened to no shirt, no shoes, no service? That's over, I guess now. Weirdest advanced screen experience ever. Boy, I got a few stories, but not one of these days. I want to come up with a video with all the weird stuff I've ever dealt with at screenings. It'd be hard to remember them all, though. Bryson says, "Good Boys," another mid '90s, or have Rogan and Goldberg just made a haha. Kids are saying the F word movie. It's not going to be mid '90s. Mid '90s was too good. Mid '90s was too serious. Good Boys is going to feel like super bad, I think. I'm hoping that's a good thing. I hope it's just not the kids cursing. The movie might have a little bit of a heart, but I don't expect it to be mid '90s. Again, yeah, it's going to be like super bad. I think it's just them trying to do a new type of super bad, just make the kids younger. That's what I see anyway. Again, I'd love to be wrong about that. Daniel says, "What is your favorite funny Melissa McCarthy movie and worst?" Life of the Party probably have to be worst. Let me look up the Melissa McCarthy playlist here, because I'd really have to look. Yeah, Life of the Party is probably the worst if we're talking straight up comedies. Just off of what I'm seeing, my favorite would probably have to be Spy. That probably, because that movie is not just her. It's everybody in that movie's funny. But yeah, Life of the Party just made me want to punch myself in the face. And again, I want her to be funny, but then movies like, I didn't like The Heat very much. She seemed to be playing the same character a lot. That was the big problem. But now she's getting, like I said, she's getting to do good stuff now. So hopefully, like, The Kitchen's amazing. I'm looking forward to that one so much. But yeah, it'd have to be Spy is the best one, and Life of the Party is probably the worst. Let's see. Bryce says, "For me, McCarthy is Can You Forgive Me?" Heck yeah. If it's just all overall movies, heck yes. Lois is Life of the Party. Great minds or insane minds think alike. Bill says, "The Jane Foster Thor storyline is one of the best Thor storylines. Thor loses his faith in the gods, becomes Odin's son, and goes on a journey of self-discovery. While Jane Foster battles cancer, every time she comes Thor, it removes her chemotherapy." Yeah, heard about that. And there's more. Jane Foster ultimately has to sacrifice herself to save Asgard from Magog. Spoiler alert! No, I'm kidding. I enjoyed the comic run. I didn't read all of it, but I always keep up with comics, or at least try to, and see what they're doing. And I enjoyed that. And I really hope they do something like that eventually. I hope they don't cram that into this movie, though. Unless they're planning on keeping Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Because that would be a heartbreaking story, her becoming the Thor and then dying of cancer at the end. Yeah, that would be a cool overall story arc. But I think they want to keep her around for a while. So, and again, Chris Hemsworth's like, "I'll play Thor forever." That I'm curious about that. I'm wondering how much they're going to take from the comics. I hope they do. I hope they keep the good stuff. Daniel says, "Good Boys is hilarious, but Booksmart is a better movie." Still never got to see Booksmart, unfortunately. Dang hospital. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Good Boys. I'll probably catch Booksmart when it comes. I think it's coming out soon on for rental if it hasn't already. It's definitely one I'm going to catch up on. Paul says The Kitchen is out next week. Heck yes. Ever since hearing about that movie, I was excited. And then I saw the first trailer and I was really excited. And I saw the next trailer and I was really, really excited. So I'm hoping The Kitchen is really good. That'd be a rare win for DC. I mean, it's a DC Vertigo project. So the last time we got a DC Vertigo project, we got The Losers, a movie which still should have had a sequel. One of my favorite underrated comic book movies ever. So I'm hoping The Kitchen is amazing. Let's see. Daniel says, for me, Melissa McCarthy comedy films, least favorite, Tammy. Yeah, that I don't know if I'd call that straight up comedy, but I get where you're going at. Yeah, I hated that movie too. Favorite, my unpopular opinion, The Happy Time Murders, mostly because I love the puppetry and Muppets. The Happy Time Murders, as I said in my review, could have been really good. And Melissa McCarthy was good in it when she wasn't being comedy Melissa McCarthy. When she was kind of playing, whenever she wasn't doing the slapstick stuff, she was really good. But that movie was just misguided. It needed better just overall setup because it had a good idea. I mean, it kind of had that Avenue Q kind of feel to it, but it just, I don't know, it fell short in a lot of places. But hey, Happy Time Murders I liked it a little better than a lot of people did. It's unfortunate it wasn't better because, I love puppetry and Muppets too. So I wanted something great in that. Paul says, what movie are you least looking forward to reviewing? Ooh, we did what I'm looking forward to last time. So let's delve into the release schedule here again. Starting off, I can tell you next week, I'm not looking forward to Dora. Let's see. Not for bad reasons, but The Art of Racing in the Rain, because it's made by the people that made what was it? What was the name of that movie? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. It was of course I'm gonna forget now. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on that dog movie. Marley and Me. That was it. It's the same people with Marley and Me, so you kind of know how that movie's gonna end, right? Let's see. What else am I not looking forward to here? Angry Birds a little bit. I'm not looking forward to the ending of 47 Meters Down Uncaged, because if they go all trippy like they did in the first one, I'm not going to like it. Because that was what I didn't like about that first one, because it's like all of a sudden it's all trippy and stuff. Let's see. Not looking forward to. Wow, there's a lot of movies. Playmobil the movie, because I have no idea what they're going to do with that. Let's see. That's August. So far, there's a lot of stuff. I probably won't review it, but Downton Abbey, because I don't want to watch the whole show to have to watch the movie. Let's see. Man, there's a lot of stuff that looks good coming out. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff. I'm scared of Joker. I really want it to be good, but I'm afraid of it. Okay. I was excited for this movie. Now I'm not sure. The Addams Family. After seeing the posters, I'm really hoping it's just silly posters and the movie's good. But if you've seen the new movie posters that came out for that, they are very silly, and it's like, please be good, because I love the Addams Family. And I want that cartoon to be great. I'm not looking forward to Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. And that comes out in October. We were talking earlier, when does it come out? Let's see, on to November. Terminator Dark Fate, I'm not really looking forward to. Now that you explained Midway to me, I'm not looking forward to that one. Let's see. Charlie's Angels. Man, there's some good stuff. If it actually comes out, Brahms the Boy 2. I didn't like the first one. I predicted that one. Cats. Of course, Cats. That's about all I'm seeing this year, just as a quick glance. Let's see. Where was I? Best and worst Melissa McCarthy movie for Chris are the Ghostbusters 2, the farting. Man, the Ghostbusters movie could have been good, but all they did was insult the good movie in that movie. And, for me, it was nothing about, the all-female cast or whatever. You had a lot of people that can be funny in those movies, but they were just not being funny. The script wasn't good. Just not a lot about that movie was good. That being said, for a safer Ghostbusters movie, like if you're not wanting to have to explain to your kids a lot of the jokes of the original, well, then show them the new one. They probably get them. I'm sure kids got a laugh out of it. I know my buddy Aaron, who runs the Cult Ministry channel here on YouTube, he took his kids to see it and they loved it. And I'm sure my kids would like it too. But do I want to see it again? No. Bill says Chris Hemsworth reportedly signed on for 2 more films. Sounds about right. That being said, I wonder if they would want him for 1 more Avengers. Probably not. Since he kind of had his big Avengers moment in Endgame. Daniel says, have I seen the trailer for A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Yes, and I love it. I grew up with Mr. Rogers, and though I had a few issues with the documentary, I loved the documentary that just came out not too long ago. And I love the fact that the Fred Rogers Institute came out with the Daniel Tiger cartoons. My son's into that, and it's a way of bringing in, since he's not with us anymore, it's bringing in new issues for them to deal with. And I actually use Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood to help my special needs son, learn how some things work. Like if we get angry, what do we need to do, and things like that. And we sing those songs, and they may be little simplistic, little rhyme songs, but they work. And it's just like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I mean, come on, look at some of the stuff they covered on that show. It's amazing what that man did. And who else is going to play him but Tom Hanks? Nobody. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Let's see. Daniel says, besides Tammy and maybe Identity Thief, even though I thought it was okay, I've enjoyed comedic Melissa McCarthy movies a lot. And yes, even Life of the Party. Hey, if you dig them, you dig them. I just know my opinion is, and again, it's my opinion, I think she's better than that. And I think she could do good comedy given a good script. I think her timing is great. I think she's entertaining. I think she's talented. But when they give her these cookie cutter scripts where it's just like, hey, just ad lib a little bit and get nasty. And I mean, she's better than that. But hey, if you got enjoyment out of them, that's cool with me. Bill says live action Tom and Jerry movie as cast Ken Jeong. Fantastic. That's all I'm going to say. That's my official statement. Daniel says, I really enjoyed Marley and Me when I was young. I used to hate the ending because I thought Marley would come out of the ground and be alive and happy. Mostly because I don't understand death. Yeah, it was, man, you saw that coming, but man, that movie still hurts. He didn't understand death when he was young. Yeah, man, that movie hurts. I mean, it's anyone that loves dogs, if you don't cry during that movie, man, especially if you've lost a dog, man, that movie's hard to watch. And I can tell even from the trailer with, you got Kevin Costner going, all I want is one last ride. I'm willing to bet that scene of him riding in the car, him going, say, go faster or whatever, that's going to be near where he passes. And if that dog doesn't pass away at the end, I'll be surprised. But we all know it's going to happen. Bryson says the Addams Family posters seem disproportional, or at least I noticed it way more in the trailer. I know the art style of the Addams Family is like the old comic, and I like that. It was just the taglines on there was. I think they're just I'm hoping they're just trying to get kids' attention with silly taglines. I got a lot of hope for that movie. I really I really do. I really do hope it's good. I want that to be one of the better animated movies this year. Um, but I just, yeah, I liked the trailer for it. I just didn't. The posters. I saw them today. Ashley, the movie oracle on Twitter, retweeted somebody that had posted them, and I saw those. And I'm like, no, don't don't illumination my Adams Family, please. Um, I hope that movie's really good, though. I really do. Daniel says, I hope the Addams Family movie is good, especially as directors of Sausage Party. Well, I don't want it to be like Sausage Party. I want to be able to show my kids the Addams Family. I think I'm gonna show my son the Addams Family movies coming up soon. I've talked about them, especially I love Values. I love Addams Family Values, especially the camp stuff. Um, I'm looking forward to showing my sons that. And do I want it to be Sausage Party? No, I want it to be kind of like the live action movies, the first two anyway, where just in cartoon form. I'm sure it's going to be a little sillier than that. Um, I don't want it to be like Hotel Transylvania too much, even though I like the first two at least. Okay. Um, let's see. Paul says, "What about Gemini Man?" What about Gemini Man? I like the idea. I haven't been too impressed with the CG Will Smith. I'm really hoping they do touch up on it. The mouth movement bothers me. When he's standing still, looks great, but when his mouth is moving, it's just very uncanny valley. I like the idea. It's going to be a hit or miss. I think it's going to be either really, really good or it's going to really, really suck. I don't think it's going to be one of those fall in the middle type of movies. And it seems to be the way with Ang Lee. His movies are really awesome, or it's going to be really bad. Daniel says Gemini Man doesn't look good. I'm hoping it is. I like weird sci-fi like that. I like the cast too. Bryson says Gemini Man, as you said in the last live stream, will be a worse Looper. I really do hope you're wrong. I want it to be good like Looper was. I really do, but yeah, it's going to be hit or miss, I think. Daniel says Ad Astra looks okay, but the only movie for the rest of the year I'm giving super hype to is Frozen 2. Excuse me. Bill says Gemini Man sounds suspiciously similar to my movie idea, 5 Donald Glovers. Well, maybe Ang Lee stole it from you. Wouldn't be the first time someone stole anything from Hollywood. Isn't that right, Christopher Nolan? Let's see. Bryson says, I love Values. Ricci as Wednesday was my first movie crush. Man, yeah, I had a crush too. I definitely did. Yeah, especially in that movie. I mean, because she's, I was that age, she was that age. I'm allowed to feel that way at that age. I mean, I don't look back at it now and think that, but I do think, well, when I was that age, I did have a crush, and I still, she turned into a very beautiful woman. So, and honestly, I'd like to see her do more stuff. She hasn't done a lot of big stuff lately that I know of. But yeah, it's again, especially the camping stuff, like where they have her smile and all that stuff, and then of course the Thanksgiving play and all that stuff is just amazing. I love that movie. Daniel says, also in my opinion, Playmobil looks like it's ripping off the Lego movie, and the USA trailer is very misleading to the UK trailer. Yeah, of course it's going to be playing off Lego movie. I've only seen a poster. That's all I've seen, like in a couple pictures, because I made my thumbnail for it already, and that's all I could think of. It's trying to be the Lego movie. But he says, I will give Playmobil this. It looks better than Arctic Dogs because I have a terrible experience with the last animated Arctic movie, and you probably know what I'm talking about. What was the last Arctic movie? The last Arctic movie. I know there was another Norm of the North. but yeah, I'm not sure which Arctic movie you're referring to. And again, Norm of the North. Okay, you got to remember there was uh, the last Leica movie kind of went to the Arctic too. Or technically, it wasn't the Arctic, I guess, but yeah, Norm of the North was not good. I have not seen the sequel. Lord help us, I'm sure there'll be more. Let's see. Bill says Ava DuVernay says Darkseid will be in New Gods. She reportedly recruiting Jack Kirby experts. I wonder if the Eternals is an attempt to get ahead of it, maybe, or it's just I know they were planning on doing Inhumans with Marvel, but then they did that show that wasn't very good, and then at least the first 2 episodes weren't that good. I don't know if Marvel's trying to get ahead of them, but I mean, they already done their Darkseid and done it well. I mean, Thanos and Darkseid are, kind of the same character, at least in a way. And of course, their Darkseid was, I almost confused them there. Thanos was amazing. So, it's, I'm not real excited about the Eternals, but again, I like being wrong about movies. Bill says Norm of the North 3. God, I know there was a second one. I've seen a couple reviews for it, and I heard it was not good. Paul says waiting for the next Marvel villain to come out. Apparently they're not doing an Avengers movie in this phase, so I don't know who the big bad's going to be. I just want Doctor Doom. That's who I really want. There's some. I know we'll probably get the Mandarin, because with the Shang-Chi movie or whatever it is that's coming out. They're finally going to do the real Mandarin, which, hey, great. They'll be tying up that loose end for that little mini movie they did with Ben Kingsley. But other big villains, I know they talked about doing, I think, Annihilation too, the Annihilation storyline. So there's some good villains. I'd love to see Kang. That would be a fun one, because since they've messed with time travel, Kang would be a fun one too, as a big bad. Then again, they would be going to the time traveling thing again. Let's see. Bob says there's 3 Norm movies now. I didn't know there was a third one. I didn't even want to see the second one. Daniel says Abominable looks all right, and Spies in Disguise look mixed. Abominable looks cute. Spies in Disguise, I was excited for Spies in Disguise until they turned him into a bird. I was like, oh, cool, an animated spy, and now he's a bird. Bill says, I hope Shang-Chi has his new powers from the comics. A kung fu movie about a guy who can make duplicates of himself sounds like an awesome premise. Yeah, I just like the idea of the movie, period. I love it when Marvel gets to do different kinds of movies and yeah, I know we had Iron Fist, the show, but then I'd love to see Iron Fist, the character, finally in the MCU, even though I guess they said they're not. I guess they've separated the TV shows now. They're saying, nope, not doing them. None of them people are coming back, which is unfortunate for some of them. But I'm looking forward to seeing a Kung Fu Marvel movie. That'd just be awesome. Hopefully they do some of the cool wire work and stuff like that. That'd be kind of neat. Daniel says, besides the terrible CGI, Cats, I think that Cats could have potential if you ignore the CGI. It's kind of hard to ignore the CGI when the whole thing's CGI, though. Bill says Stanley now has a street named after him in the Bronx. That's awesome. He should. But anyway, if you got any more comments you want to throw in there, guys, I'll definitely cover them. Just a few more thoughts. Again, if you have ideas for Patreon tiers, I'm definitely taking those. Taking ideas for that. Again, I have a few new segments I'm hoping to be bringing in soon that I'm probably going to put on Patreon for suggestions and votings for movies and stuff like that. So I'm still developing it. It probably won't be for a little while, but I still am looking for tier ideas. You can put them in the comment section for this video, or you can contact me on Twitter at TheRealGino. Or I have a post on the community tab on YouTube if you want to put it there too. Just look for a picture of animated me standing next to the Patreon logo. But I'm looking for ideas for that. Sometime tonight, after this process is probably, which will probably take a little while, I'm probably going to put up the first episode of my next Gino's Bad at Games. Since I'm 6 episodes ahead, I should be able to finish it, and so I can release them all together day after day. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm going to cover the rest of the comments here, and then I'm going to shut her down for the night because I'm tired. So let's see. Daniel says, plus Universal gives the Cats movie Lloyd approval, so Lloyd will be suing them. I am looking forward to that review. I'll just say that. I am looking forward to that review. Because, yeah, that's going to be... I want to see an animated Lloyd review of that. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. But I'm looking forward to that review myself. Bill says, Black Widow is said to be inspired by The Fugitive, Logan, Terminator 2, and I am cool with that. I'm curious about that movie. According to Rachel Weisz, there's going to be multiple Black Widows, so it looks like it's maybe a passing of the torch kind of thing. So, we'll see how they do that. I'm just surprised they brought it out after, spoiler alert, she died in the movies. Bill says, the new Jay and Silent Bob movie, Val Kilmer is playing Blunt Man. Matt Damon is reprising his role as Loki from Dogma. See, yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. When I first heard that they were rebooting it, I'm like, really? We're gonna have new Jay and Silent Bob? But then it's like, oh no, it plays into the universe and they're rebooting the Blunt Man and Chronic movie. That works for me, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Daniel says Tiffany Haddish is Snow White in a live action remake. Are they gonna do a live action remake of that? I guess apparently eventually they will. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down for the night. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Low Budget live stream. As always, connect with me on Twitter at The Real Gino. If you haven't subscribed to The Real Gino YouTube channel, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a good night. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time. You guys have a great night. See you later.